Agent of Influence 9, urgency. Urgency forces decision. My wife and I have this saying, we can always go buy more. We can always go buy more. So just get what we need right now. You can always go buy more. We live a very simplified life. We don't have a lot of things in the house because we have this mentality. We can always go get more. The only time that we're forced to make a decision is when we can't go buy more. That's it. That's the urgency. That's how urgency works. And urgency is really the only reason decisions are made. Have you ever heard the saying that a task will take the amount of time that it's been given to get done? Steve Jobs was huge about this. He would come back and give ridiculous deadlines on his people. Get it done, figure it out. He went over to Xerox one day and they were working on the first mouse. They were moving the mouse around and it was moving the cursor on the screen, and he came back and he said, stop what you're doing. We're building this mouse and you have 6 weeks to get it done. And his employees are going, what are you talking about? We have no idea how to figure this is completely new. We have no idea what this is. And he says, you've got 6 weeks, figure it out. Of course, obviously, like every, impressive CEO story, they figure it out in 6 weeks and the rest is history. The point is that urgency is what's going to force people to stay and get things done. This is why lawyers are so productive, because everything's urgent to them. Deadline, 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 deadline. And when time is of the essence like that, you're going to get stuff done. Whereas students, it's due at the end of the quarter. Well, when is it going to be worked on? At the end of the quarter. When it's urgent, not now. So remember that. Come up, be authentic. One of the primary reasons people say that they come and work with me is because that they feel that I'm authentic. And because I am. Because everything that I come up with, I'm trying not to get caught in any of these little knick-knack lies, even though these agents of influence are so good and you want to use them somehow. You want to come up with a way to create urgency. Oh, you have to get into this workshop now. It's only being held one time this month and then it's over. The last thing that you want to do is lie to them. I was speaking to a gentleman that was lied to from a coach or whatever. And he was going to buy her stuff and she said, this is the last time to get into this workshop. You've got to get into it. It starts on this, in a day or something. So he's like, oh, fine. It's not good timing for me, but I'm going to get it. And then he didn't get any information and finally reached out to her and said, hey, where's the workshop? When's it starting? And she sends him like, oh, it's in the membership area. You can go take it anytime. He was pissed, got his refund, left, and he'll never buy anything from her. That's where we are. Our audiences are becoming more sophisticated with these tactics online, so that you need to make sure that the way that you come across in creating these agents of influence is that they are authentic. Make sure that you have an authentic reasoning behind it. And it's not as hard as you would think. So without urgency and a deadline, that's what creates the urgency, that deadline, all decisions get put off, okay? And no sales are made. We humans are terrible at making decisions because we know we can always come back and make another one. It's in the same way that the hook and lean out, you can create urgency in your hook and lean out if your calendar's booked and it's hard for that person to get a meeting with you and they've got to get something done and it's going to take them 3 months or something to book with you, right? That's the ultimate urgency for them to make a decision now so that they don't have to wait that amount of time. And the reverse is true. If they're never getting the option, then you can create that urgency of saying this is one time and then you're not getting it. All urgency needs a because. You cannot just say there's 100 seats. You're just not going to create that urgency. We're dealing with a sophisticated market here. You used to be able to say those kind of things in an unsophisticated market. There's 100 seats available. And people would fall in and be like, okay, yeah, I get it. But now they need to know the why. They need that mechanism of like, okay, there's 100 seats, but I think you're lying to me. So you say, because my webinar program only allows me to have 100 seats. My I can only work with that amount of people at a given time. You need a very legitimate and outside of yourself reason that's forcing you to create that urgency. Okay, this isn't going to be around long because I'm only doing this once. This is just a test for me. I'm doing this in preparation for something else. So make sure that your urgency has a because that outlines the why. Why is it urgent? Are you lying to me, and how truthful is that? So be very truthful in what you're doing. And yes, you want to create urgency. You have to create urgency. It's what forces people to actually make a decision. In your marketing and your paid advertising on your landing page, you have to include this urgency in there, but make sure that it's very authentic.